Hey, what's up everyone? DominatorTx coming at ya. Today I'm gonna share with you some tips that's helping me with Kingmaker Pathfinder game. First and foremost, delete as many saved games as you can. It just slows you down from loading screens. I get that it could be scary not having multiple saves like I did, because then you can sort of go back and undo some of the mistakes you're making. So I've decided to reduce the number of saves down to 3. Maybe I can get down to 1 eventually, but right now no autosaves, turn that off, and I only have 3 saved games, because the more saved games you have, the longer it takes to load from screens and game crashes and all sorts of other things. So also, I'm just showing you my characters and this particular screen, the equipment screen. You can rotate the character, and you can also look into the characters and skills and look at them more in detail and the abilities. So I have Valerie, I have Amiri. Main character is the elf I've named Claire, and I have the bard who is writing the story, and then I have the dwarf. So I feel like those 6 characters complement each other extremely well. Not one is same as the other, and I'm just progressing through different kinds of details that you could see for each of the characters. And right now, as you can see, I'm at level 6. When I made these videos, I was at level 6. So I also have Octavia, Harem, and then Amiri, like I said. They all have different strengths and weaknesses, so that's also my tip. Have different characters that can do different things for you. My healer is Lindsay, the bard, who is writing the story in the game. And then I have 3 tanks, Harem, I have Valerie and Amiri. So 3 tanks, they go up to the enemies and they take all the hits. And I have Claire, who is an elf who is very proficient with bow and arrow. And they stand back. 3 players that stand back, 3 players that go right up against the opponent. And this right here, whenever you're in any kind of map or any kind of section, if you will, just press the square button, the rectangle button at the center, and what you can do is just click where that person goes, and voila, they just walk towards that. It's also good to see where your companions are throughout the map too. And here's another thing, tip number 3: do not have too many things in your inventory, okay? And we'll talk about that in a second. So now, when you come up to these different locations, claim them, and your kingdom will get bonuses. So that's another tip if you've never played this game. Right there, I'm going towards that teal color one, you see? Yep. And when you claim it, it says source of resources for the barony, which is you. And then, okay, when you don't have a lot of things that you're carrying in your inventory, and when you go to the inventory, you'll see everything is in weights, and I was carrying like 800 pounds, and every 2 moves my players got tired. So but now I'm at like 170 pounds and they don't get tired. So it's really nice, and I can go longer without taking breaks or resting. And right here, if you go up and down with your directional button, you can see you can have close up to your players, not the environment. Or you can span back. This game is called isometric, meaning you sort of have a bird's eye view, which I really like. Okay, this particular part of my video is the actual fight scene. So right now I'm letting the computer basically go at it. It's called real time, right? And then the problem with the real time is you don't position your tanks in the right location, because they just go up to one opponent, 3 of them. You see, I have Amiri, I have Valerie, and Huram all right there, but that's leaving my 3 bow and arrow or magic players basically exposed. So now, by pressing down on the right analog stick, you can then have turn-based, where you control each player at a time, which is beneficial because after I have player character shoot the enemy, see, now I can tell, yep, see, I'm telling Harem, the dwarf, to come this way, yep, and then I'm going to tell Amiri, my tank, another tank, so I have 3 tanks, so that's my second tank. And then when I get to Valerie, I will tell Valerie to come. And that way I have 3 tanks protecting my flankers, Claire and Lindsay and Octavia, right? So that's one thing that's really cool about this game, is that you can switch back and forth between real time and turn-based. And turn-based too, if you have a really tough opponent, it's better to do turn-based. That way you can think about who, what, when, and how. But majority of the game, because I've leveled up my players, you know, I like to grind. My players are going to be overpowered versus my opponent, so I just do real time just like this, and they just take care of the opponents rather easily. So you can see the 3 tanks are right up against the opponent, and then I have basically 2 archers and magicians staying back, and that way the tanks take all the hit. So in terms of resting, I highly recommend doing that, because you know, you basically, this is how you heal, you know, while you're out in the adventure. And then I've assigned each of my players specific duties, because that's the design of the game. You see how hunting, camouflage, cooking, and special roles. So sharpen, that's one of the special roles that I have. Is I have Amiri, who is sharpening my tools, or I'm sorry, my weapons every time I rest, and then that way next time I fight, you know, my players do a better job. And I'm showing you right here one of the side quests that you can do, and that was for Valerie. You know, this game has so many things. It does have problems. The load time, sometimes I feel like if you play 60 minutes, you sat there for 14 minutes waiting for the load. Horrendous. And then this is a capital, and there's so many things going on. You see how slow my player is moving? It's, you know, that's another thing. And a few glitches, the game sort of goes to blue death, and you know, blue screen, and kicks you out and crashes. But anyway, as you can see, I hardly have any weight. So that's my #1 strategy. Dump everything you don't need. Alright, talk to you later.